Okay, welcome, especially to my Patreons. I appreciate your support. Um, I'm going to go on a fast. Okay, I've been on many fasts. The longest fast I ever was on was 21 days after my mother died. Okay, I ended up going to an AA meeting, and the question, I truly believe that when you go on a fast longer than say 3 days for kind of medical reasons. Up to 3 days is kind of medical. After that, it starts to be more for a spiritual thing. Okay, I did a spiritual one, and I didn't really know why I was doing it, but it was an argument with God on why He killed my mother. And I know you don't like me to say it that way, but to me, He killed my mother. God. Okay, I ended up going to an AA meeting and ending that on Thursday in Fremont, Indiana. Went to the 7:30 AA meeting, and the third step said, made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood Him. And that meant I wasn't supposed to be arguing with God. Although, guess what? I, I still argue. But I think the arguing process is part of fasting, okay? What I'm doing right now, I also broke up with a girl one time, and she really broke my heart, and I was sober, and I didn't eat for like 8 days, okay? I've done multiple 3-day, 5-day fast, but the only ones I really remember is those two fasts, and the one, because my heart was kind of broken, and I don't know why I fasted then, okay? But I do know why I fast now, okay? So right now, I'm in a fight mentally, emotionally, spiritually with the United States of America. I wrote about this the other day I've been writing a book called The Philosophy of, and if anybody would like to read along with it, you can send me your email and I'll send it to you. You got to be honest. You got to say your full name, and you got to say your email, and you got to be a stand-up person. I'm not playing games with people, especially when I'm trying to share something very intimate and personal. Okay, but this fast is going to be asking the question: do I have any value in the United States right now, other than just how much money it can give me? Okay, which is kind of a common thing. But I truly believe that the unexamined life is not worth living, which is a Socrates quote from, I don't know, 2,000 some years ago, 3,000, I don't know. But Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. And so very difficult to examine your life when you're spending all your time trying to be debaucherous. There's all these like 7 deadly sins that distract us from thinking. Okay, one of them is gluttony. Okay, I don't think they're in the Bible though. The 7 deadly sins are not in the Bible, but but I do agree that what they do is they tempt us to go away from the right path. So right now, I want to find out what the right path is, and before I get on a plane and leave the United States and never come back, it's highly possible I do this. Plus, I might just die when I leave, because I don't know what's going on with my heart. I got this 2-inch. I have no real understanding of the dysfunctional use of the pharmaceutical industry and the doctors on the planet. They don't seem to understand that a functional situation has a series of questions, answers. We talk, they talk, we talk. We come to an agreement. That's not how it's working. It's very highly dysfunctional. I get to listen and I don't get to reply. I got in trouble twice for analyzing what I was reading on Chat GPT, which is a very great way to understand what all the jargon that they're using. You can just say, pull out the jargon, give me the definition in layman's term, and it's really great. Okay, but we really should have an informed decision on our health. To me, the unexamined person just goes in and listens to a doctor or an expert or anybody without questioning. But like Einstein said, a person that really knows what they're doing can explain it to a sixth grader so a sixth grader can understand. And that was not what these doctors so far have been able to do. Okay, now I did buy a heart model, and I might try to get one of the arch. There's the aortic, the whole big artery that goes through your body and splits off in your leg is, I think they call it the aorta. Okay, I'm going to try to get a model of that before I end up in the doctor on soon here. I can't really tell people. It's really sad. I'm 20. I am going to start saying I'm 28 years old, and I'll soon be 20. I'm 68 years old. I'm sorry, 68. I failed 28. I'm 68 years old, and I'll soon be 69. Okay, within a couple months. Okay, so 69-year-old man with a aneurysm on the heart. I just had 2 stents put in, and I'm trying to get my knees replaced. I don't think I'm going to get my knees replaced, and I think I'm going to delay that forever. I'm probably going to do some things. But my fast right now is to say, I'm going to keep trying to word this. You know, what you do when you're really thinking about something, you keep wording it in a better way. Okay, so do I, at first glance, first thinking, first and understanding of this question of fasting. Today is September 9th, okay? September 9th, 2024. And I'm going to try to fast up to the point that I go to the doctor, okay? Which could be quite a ways. And the goal is to find out why live in the United States for me, Andy Lee Graham? I have zero attachments here. My family loves me very much, but they don't like me, okay? I finally have to accept that my family loves me deeply, but they don't like me around, okay? And I'm going to probably move into a hotel. If anybody has a hotel close to Fort Wayne where I can live there for, I don't know, less than like $200 a week, all the hotels that are a price like that are either full of the scum of the planet or they're just full all the time. I know 2 hotels that are that are good, okay? But I'm trying to move into a better situation, so it'd be better if I was closer to Fort Wayne, anywhere. So I'm going to be driving around, I think, today to find another place to live because I need to be alone with me, with my thoughts. That is what fasting is. It's a deprivation of stimulus. It's not doing something to solve a problem. It's doing nothing to solve a problem. And I've done it many times, and it's contrary to what you think. The worst possible mental thing you can do is stay busy so you don't think about your problem or your triggers. That is absolutely that's just stuffing your emotions and not resolving them. After 21 days of a fast over my mother, I realized that it was up to God, and my mother believed in God. And it was up to her. She wanted to die. I asked her if she wanted to die. I said, if you don't want to die, I will go in and get this ding-a-ling doctor to do his job, because he was negligent, 100% negligent. I have zero doubt in my mind that this guy, the reason why I say that was quite simple. We were in Angola hospital, and she was making slow improvement. We get transferred to Fort Wayne to a specialist, and he takes her off all the medicine that was making her improve, and just basically just let her die. Didn't come up with any solutions, didn't have any rational strategy, just basically made it worse because the removal of what was working. First do no harm was not what that doctor understood. He was from Barbados, though, and he was kind of the United States is hiring a bunch of really half-assed doctors, okay? I truly recommend that you go to an American-made, American-born doctor, okay, unless they're written 3 books and they came from India or something like that. Just to get somebody that's from Ghana or whatever, or any of these African countries. Definitely don't get African countries. They are not mechanical, okay? They don't understand that that's not their aptitude. They're artists. They're really good artists. I mean, you want Eastern Europe or like Ukraine, Eastern Europe, Germany, and all the Scandinavian countries if you really want the best doctors. Maybe Israeli. Okay, but you got to understand the origin. Don't give me some there with 1 billion people in India. There's a lot of people that are special, but China's got a higher IQ than the United States. But I'm going to be sitting here trying to figure out. Maybe I should ask the question: where can I go live? See what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, if I can get away with it. If I don't get a chronic terminal disease like cancer, or I have a stroke. These two things are what would stop me. I will be going to different bases that I have around the planet. One was going to be the Ukraine. It still is. It's just Ukraine. I'd like to make Russia one of my places. Togo, West Africa, for sure. I want to find one in south of Africa. That's one reason why I want to go around the tip. I would love to make one in Israel, but I just can't afford to go there. It's way too expensive to live in Israel right now. I can go anywhere and make a base as long as I can have a person that can also make it easier for me. I tried many times to go to Norway, but my friend Bjorn, he's just a wanker. Bing, 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 bing. All he could do is think of himself, self-centered, run king. King baby is what you call that. King baby. All they can think about is how to make themselves happy. They can't actually try to make the world a better place. I said, come on, Bjorn, I've known you for years, and I know you all. See, he lived in the Philippines, and all he ever did was try to sell business investments for about 25 years. Got hundreds of people to business invest money. He was a scammer. Okay, but he's extremely smart. Okay, he went to business school. Go figure. That's what they learn how to do, I guess. Okay, but I'm going to be thinking about the pros and cons of living in the United States. Maybe that's the way I should. The pros and cons about whether Andy Lee Graham should live in the United States. Not about you. This is where people really get mixed up. I am not talking about you. I'm talking about how I do a fast and what the goal. The goal here is that I ask a question and I come to answers. But the only way to find answers is to be alone with yourself thinking about the problem until you come up with the solution. I solved the problem of sciatica 14, 15 years ago because I sit there and I looked at a spinal column until I could solve the problem. I just solved my supragastritis, which is a burping, but I think that gastritis might also be because that aneurysm is pushing against my esophagus. Okay, it's right at the place. There's a couple of different valves here in the throat and the esophagus that open and close and stuff. I'm having trouble with the air comes back into my thing, but with deep breathing and whatever. So the goal here is to what are the pros and cons of Andy living in the United States, and should I go into a self-centered only what can the United States do for me? I mean, John F. Kennedy, I was really proud of. He said, don't ask what you can do for your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I disagree anymore. I think the only value of the United States is what they can give me. Okay, but that's the way 90% of people are already. I do believe as a global citizen, it is my job to make the country a better thing. I keep thinking the best thing that happens right now, and I'm going to do a lot of civil disobedience. I'm going to apply for every possible way to get free money from the United States. Why? Because the United States has to have a tipping point where they are broke, okay? And they're trying really hard without my help. I mean, they're giving all this free money, and maybe there's an intelligentsia that says if we bankrupt the United States, done by Iran and all these countries and George Soros, that they will destroy the country. They actually won't do that. They will actually make the country stronger. We need to go through a depression. It's the only thing that's going to take these entitled children that are, defund the police, Black Lives Matter, gay boys going into women's restroom and pissing. Oh man, being in the Olympics. These are the height of idiocy. Okay, but the life goes on, so I'm going to sit there and continually try to reword this. And anybody that would like to talk about fasting for spiritual reasons can become a Patreon member, and then you can write on it. Amos writes quite a bit to me. There's a couple people that write a lot of Patriots. Most of the people are very, they're supporters, but everybody in the United States is drastically. I don't know what they. I don't have any clue to understand. And this is one reason why I don't want to live in the United States. Nobody has any time for anybody. Why do I want to live with a group of people or culture that doesn't have time to even just sit around and drink a cup of coffee together? And when they do, they're sitting around trying to figure out how to be angry with each other. The default setting in the United States appears to be, I'm looking to find out what's wrong with you so I can complain about it. Instead of just going, we're trying to get along, we're trying to find consensus and agree on things. I hope that makes sense, and I'm really appreciative of my Patreons, and I have enough money now to go to Israel. I got about $1,600. It'll get me there. It'll probably make it so I can live very meager. I would really need about another $1,000 to do it. I have a GoFundMe page, and I'm always aghast. Always, I don't understand people. It's like. They're always in an entertainee mode. I'm the entertainer and they're the entertainee. I don't know if that's a word. Okay, but they're not a focus. There are very few people that focus, take notes. I get in trouble in AA meetings when I take out a piece of paper and take notes. I want to learn. I want to become a better person. It's like it's a form of self-help book, live self-help book. Why would I not try to capture the sayings, the ideas, the good points, and put them in? I have a database with almost 1,000 different points from AA. Okay, life is good. I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm in the United States and I'm trying to lay out in the sun. It's going to get cold here shortly. My hair is having some few problems. I'm going to have to figure out what to do about it. I got to figure out how to cut it so that it stays like this, but I want it to look rumpled. The only way to put anything on it, I got to put, like, I don't know, castor oil. Castor oil is a little too thick. Okay, very thick stuff. I'm looking for some flaxseed to buy that because that's kind of thinner. But I put a lot of different, I put cod liver oil with minerals in it, whatever. Oh, this coffee, I was going to tell you, this coffee is got, okay, the rules of engagement. I haven't talked about that. The rules of engagement on a fast is I'm not going to take my nutritional yeast, which has got calories, whatever. It's high in vitamin B, but it does have some calories. And the only thing that I'm going to be putting in my mouth would be hibiscus tea, all my supplements, which none of them are really calories, coffee, but I'm going to try to stay at 95% decaffeinated coffee because the stress of coffee does raise things. But you get the polyphenols by putting it. I put chocolate in here. I put a 92 trace minerals in here, and I put MTC oil, which is kind of I don't know, kind of nebulous as to what it is. It's kind of a thing that instigates ketones. But I put that in the coffee in the morning, and I mix that up. And then I carry with me the cacao, 100% cacao. It's Nestle's. It's in a really, it's baking chocolate. And it says 100% cacao. Trust me, it's got a label on the back, so it's not perfect, right? But it doesn't seem to have many calories. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this William Lee, this doctor, said there's like 10 or 15 things that you can do to instigate or propagate the precipitation of stem cells, and one of them is chocolate. And you got to do it for 30, 40 days. And so I'll be doing this, I hope, for the rest of my life, along with, strangely, carrots. Carrots. Pomegranates do it too, and I don't know, black tea. The polyphenols in coffee does it too. But I don't think the caffeine in coffee is good for you. Alcohol is a killer. They have came out with in the last 2 years that most of the major health people are saying any amount of alcohol is too much. It just doesn't do you any good. Smoking, vaping, you guys are doing smoking and vaping, I don't know, just go jump into just jump off the cliff, okay? You really are having personal problems, okay? Mental problems. In this day and age, it's just going the wrong way. Okay, so the question again on my fasting, so again, the only drinks I'll probably drink would be ginger. I'll put some ginger in water, hibiscus tea, which is Ayamaica in Spanish, It's hard to buy. You got to buy it at like a Mexican. The only place to really buy it easy is if you go to like some place that a supermarket that caters to Mexicans or any kind of Latino. There was if Alan's watching this, I was laughing. This Amish guy said he's got like 24 workers. The best workers are from Guatemala. I was laughing at that. Um, he hires a lot of Latinos, but I would agree with him. The best workers are anything south of Mexico. Um, so those are the three things I'll drink. I mean, I could drink tea. I just don't like the taste of tea. It just does something to my mouth. I might try some black tea because that is one of the things that helps on the thing. I really haven't ever given tea a good try. I mean, I used to drink a lot of iced tea, but that was that mixed stuff. And I do drink, but a lot of the restaurants. The problem at 5 o'clock in the morning, most people have not put on the decaffeinated. I'm going to be very strict here and try to force them to do it. When there is no option, I have no choice. Like I'm at an AA meeting, and all they have is coffee. Then I drink coffee, but it's not enough to really tip the scales. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. The pros and cons of Andy leaving the United States and never coming back. The pros and cons of whether Andy Graham should leave the United States and never come back. We'll work our way through this together.